That was the journey wherein I felt like nobody was trusting the young girl. Still, till now, a lot of people do not trust me in the first go with the appearance, and they feel like she's too young to do this.
Hello and welcome to my chat show, Say Something with Mads, where we delve into fascinating topics and inspiring conversations with youth. Today is indeed a special day. Today, my guest is Manoli Mehta, and she is my ex student. Hi, Manoli, how are you doing? And welcome to my show.
Hi, ma'am. How are you? All good, all good. I'm good. And I'm so happy to be back here chatting with you because this has been like an all-time favorite thing to do, to chat with teachers to know more about their lives and to also tell you about my life because that's also very important.
I cannot be more happy when my students who have achieved so much in life are on my talk show. It is something surreal, and it's always happy to connect with Manoli. First of all, tell me about your journey from your childhood, your schools, college, and how you came into this profession, and how has been your life in Dubai. Just take us back from maybe 14 years back, I taught you. So from there onward, just go back and to the present. Over to
So,
you.
so ma'am, you taught one of the topics or one of the subjects that you taught was history and I think also science to some extent. And
I
I used to excel in all. I used to also be, well, I was one of the toppers in school, but after that, I felt like once I finished school, I didn't know what to do, right? But I knew that I wanted to do something in science. My family, they wanted me to become a doctor. So I gave all the exams, everything was set. But somehow I knew that doctor, yes, I wanted to do that, but I didn't want to become some MBBS or a surgeon or something. I always wanted to do something where I could talk to more people, interact with them. I wanted to become a dancer because I was certified as a Kathak dancer, but because of my studies, because of obviously peer pressure, I could not pursue that career. However, I started researching a lot about nutrition, and because few of my friends were doing it who were senior to me. So I searched a lot about it, and finally, after my 11th and 12th, I started with the nutrition course. Although it was very new subject for me because I was not too much into it, but somehow over those 3 to 4 years in my college, I realized that this is something that I would want to do. And
Okay.
the backstory of taking nutrition was because my mother was detected with diabetes when I was in school, and she was heavily diabetic. She used to take insulin shots at home, and I used to help her out. I used to also go with her to these doctor clinics, and where a dietitian used to come and talk to her about eating foods, what to eat, what not to eat, and stuff. And I
Mm.
always felt like it was not enough because my mom used to struggle with food, with the
Mm.
diabetes dose, the medications, the insulin, and she used to struggle with diet. And
Mm.
I knew from that point that this is something that I can help her out with, and I wanted to help her out. So only with
Mm.
that thing in my mind, I chose nutrition. And when I did nutrition, even I think in the last year of my college, and I think the fourth year of my college, I felt like I was also struggling with a lot of hormonal issues. And with
Mm.
my own diet, with my own whatever knowledge that I found through the 4 years of college, I applied it to myself first because, I wanted to
Mm.
try it out on myself. And that's when the journey started, that if I can help myself come out of some hormonal issues, then why not help others? But I didn't
Mm.
stop there. I
Mm.
completed my degree. After that, I did my course in diabetes education, which is I became a diabetes educator. So I helped patients with diabetes to understand what diabetes is, not to be scared of it. It's not something that your life is ending. How to thrive with it. And after that, I did another course in business management because I wanted to again go from nutrition, take the business, because business was in my blood. My father is a businessman, so I wanted to combine both nutrition and business and become an entrepreneur. So that's
Mm.
when that journey started. And by
Mm.
that time, I met my husband, Himanshu, who I then got married to him. And soon after getting married, I started my own company. Tatvam Dietary Consultants LLP, back in 2017. So it was like a full form LLP company with all the regulations, everything. And then I didn't know what to do because I started the company. I knew that I wanted to help patients, but how do I reach out to people? How do I make people understand that a 22-year-old girl is going to help them out? And that was a struggle uphill. It was a very big uphill battle. I felt like it was taking a lot of time for me to convince people that I am young, but I have the experience
Yeah.
and the knowledge to, to treat you. But
Mm.
luckily, I thank my stars that I got a lot of patients. And from then till now, I have over 10,000 patients that I have transformed their lives. I also shifted my work from India. I mean, it's still there in India, but here in Dubai as well. I also do a lot of consultation work here in Dubai as well. So that was the journey wherein I felt like nobody was trusting the young girl. Still, till now, a lot of people do not trust me in the first go with the appearance, and they feel like she's too young to do this. But
Mm.
I think what is life without challenges? So why not?
Mm.
I would take it up.
It's amazing to see you at that young age starting your own company, as you said. Uh, Amazing journey. Business as a dietitian, there is a lot of cultural difference in a new country, right? So, what would you say about that? How did you adapt to that?
I think it took me some time to understand the cultural differences and the different kinds of nationalities that there are here. Of course, food habits as well. But what I think over my 7 years of practice, I knew that whatever was taught in college was not enough because
Mm.
that was all books, okay, and theory.
Mm.
My major work or probably my journey started when I started my company, where I got patients from all over India, and not just
Mm.
India, a lot of NRIs also, wherein
Mm.
they were different, they had different food eating patterns, and India is also very diverse.
Mm.
So if a diet was to be sent to a North Indian, a complete different diet would have been sent to a South Indian person. And maybe so many different medical issues, so many different cultural diversity, that I had learned my way, that it's not going to be easy coming to Dubai. But because I
Mm.
already had a very good patient base here in Dubai
Factor.
before I even shifted here, I
Okay.
knew that I knew what I was getting into. And of course, a lot of research work. And as I said, to make these people trust me, because nutrition and diet is something which is very close to people's heart. Food is it's like a comfort food, right? So nobody wants to mess it up by doing a diet or going on to a new regime without knowing the dietitian or without trusting the dietitian. So for me,
Mm.
it was not the challenge of probably making a diet which has different with a different nationality, but it was for me to connect with those different nationalities, connect to their, understand their
Mm.
problems, understand their root causes, understand that I am being an Indian also can help you out. There's nothing
Yeah.
like, a difference between me or somebody else. That was an uphill battle, but I felt like over the years, over the couple of months also, I have somewhere achieved it. There's no it's for me, it's like a peak to one mountain, it's the beginning of another one. So every time I reach somewhere, I
Mm.
know that I have to be somewhere else as well. So although I have accomplished this connection with the people here, I still have a long way to go. But
Yeah.
yes, when you talk about diversity, I feel like yes, 100%. People were reluctant in the start, but with the
Mm.
right connects and with a lot of consistency, I have now achieved that. So yeah.
Amazing. Um, Tell me about when we are talking about diets. Obviously, the next question is going to be what are the different type of diets people follow, the intermittent fasting, the ketos. It worked for somebody, some people. Should people go on diet by looking into YouTube? Or should people actually not do that and go and ask, consult a dietitian? Many of us just feel that, अच्छा आज हम ये try कर लेते हैं. So we try it for a year and then it doesn't work. Then we go to the next. Our body is the yo-yo all the time, going up and down, up and down. So what would you suggest to people who look at fad diets all the time? And one big suggestion you want to give them. What would that be?
I feel like because we all are very unique, no one diet is going to fit everyone, right? And these trends are going to come and go. Obviously, today initially it was keto plan, where a lot of people tried ketogenic diets. Then came intermittent fasting, which is not a kind of a diet, but it's a the psychology behind it, the diet, right? Where you have to follow a certain rule in order to lose weight, and which is basically calorie deficit diet. But these are some
Manoj,
trends which are
I'll,
going
t-
to come.
I'll tell you, even after doing that, seriously, religiously, it did work on me. Whereas so many people have got such good results. So, what would you say for that?
So yeah, that's what I was just going to come to that point, that because we all are so unique and every body is going to react in a very different way. It's not going to be the same for all. What might work for me might not work for you, and I think you have been through that, so you know that. But yes, some people they follow it very religiously and consistently, so the results are seen. Some people they
Yeah,
follow it maybe like 50% or 60%, and then they give up because they don't see results. They try to
correct.
compare themselves with the before afters of others, which might not be
Yeah,
the right way to do. You should actually not just see the number on the weighing scale, but see the other aspects of health, which is basically your immunity, your hormones, your vitals, your energy levels, your in general being healthy.
yeah,
Inches which go down, where your clothes become looser and you become much more fitter, your muscle mass increases, your fat percentage decreases. These are the factors that you should see, rather than seeing that number on the weighing scale and being all shattered because you could not see that
yeah,
change or shift in the scale. But yes, these kind of trendy diets are going to be here for some more time, until most of us realize that it's a customization that works right.
yes.
And this is what I do in my practice as well. I do not ask people to follow a particular diet because it is trending and because it's
Mm,
easy for me to give. I usually or 100% give 100% a customized diet. So,
mm,
according to your lifestyle, ethnic background, what you eat throughout the day, what you do throughout the day, what your day looks like, what you feel, what is your comfort food, who cooks for you in the house. So many other questions
all
are being
these
asked to
things,
you,
yes.
and only then the diet is given to you. Because if I don't fit the diet into your lifestyle and I ask you to fit your lifestyle into my diet, it will not work for a very long time, right? And this
Mm,
connection will go away because you will never come back to me. And my whole
yes.
point is to for people to come back to me because they
Understand.
see some changes in themselves.
Mm.
So
You have put this so beautifully, like watching a whole movie in a few sentences. You have put them in a very nutshell so beautifully. And it's not about just having number of clients to increase because it's quick and they don't come back. It's building a connection forever. Maybe generations come back, mother come back, the daughters again
I
with you.
I would like to add one point here. I had a client who was my first client, first ever client in 2016,
Oh,
and she is still with me. So it's been, I think, 8 years now, and she's still with me. And she keeps going off the diet and she keeps coming, but she keeps coming back to me. I have clients who are with me since 4 years, 5 years. They do the diet, they leave it, then they come back because they don't find anybody else as better, and they would like to come back because that's the connection I've built with them. So then they recommend
yes,
people. My work is more of word of mouth. So
yes.
the more people talk about it, the more people see transformation on someone else, the more people come. And I feel like this connection is important than building the number of clients or followers
Numbers.
and stuff. So
Yeah, correct. Absolutely. Manoli, this is a youth channel, so definitely I would like to ask you about questions about teens. Okay, if young people around you, when you see dads, do you remember what were you like when you were teens? What kind of food you liked? Did you have a healthy relationship with food, or there was not much of junk? There was always a junk, but yeah, but not this kind what is
this
available
summer,
here right
yes.
now with the lot of influx of packaged food. What would you think about your diet when you were teen? Were you healthy? Were you conscientious about your diet? And what do you see about today's young people?
I think for me, it might sound very crazy, but it was only after college, after my 12th standard, that I ever tasted a pizza. I never tasted a pizza before, and I don't. It was
Okay.
not like it was not allowed to me, or that I didn't have the resources to go and get it. But it just didn't come to me naturally, because the whole point in during those years of 2010, 11, 12 for me were mostly like, go to college, do your studies, come home, eat the home cooked food, go back to sleep, and then the cycle repeats. I never had that connection with outside food. The only outside food that we used to have was the chaats and pav bhajis and stuff which you used to get in Mumbai. But apart from that, I never tasted a pizza. I was never a foodie. So
What
my
what about
home
soft
cooked.
drinks? What about Coke and Pepsi, which people
Uh,
drink?
so there was a point in my before my teenage years. I think when I was in maybe like 7, 8 years old, that I used to drink a lot of Pepsis and colas and stuff. But then obviously that phase passed away. So after that, I have not been a huge fan of aerated drinks. But that's
Mm.
just me. But that's how I was. And I am like that. I like home cooked food over outside food. But then I do have my days of eating my favorite Chinese or my favorite food and stuff. But what I realized was, because I did not have, or even the friends around me did not have that urge to eat outside meals every day, because nobody used to get so much of pocket money in those days.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
nobody
true, true.
could go out on Starbucks. There was no Starbucks, by the way. There was
That's
no
true.
at that point. So we
What do
didn't
you
go
feel
out.
about today's youth? What do you feel about today's youth? How are they going to manage this diet thing if there's so much available off the shelf, everything?
So, actually, there's a lot of harsh reality here, which I realized the moment I came to Dubai. I realized that the young girls of Dubai and in general UAE are facing a lot of issues with their hormonal imbalance. They
Yeah.
are growing faster than they should
Uh,
because of the milk that we get here, because of the water change, because of the so much of influx of these, as you said, these processed foods, easy accessibility to outside meals. Just one click and you get food in the house. Zero physical activity. Nobody goes out in the sun nowadays to walk, run, play. Most of us are in the house. Corona also did its part of putting everybody inside the house. So these kind of things have actually impacted a lot of young girls here, and I get a
uh,
lot of these patients here in Dubai as well, who are from the age group of 16 to, so this is the age group where they are having a lot of hormonal imbalance naturally, and a lot of imbalances because of these unnatural food eating patterns.
yeah.
And because there is Starbucks everywhere, or probably there is a vending machine everywhere at each train station or each bus stop, schools, colleges, house, even buildings have vending machines now. It's easy to pick out something, eat, and not think about it. In our times, because we did not have that those kind of access to things, uh, the consumption was less. Now it's everywhere, everybody else is doing it, so even if you don't want to do it, your friends are doing it, so the peer pressure of doing the same, that is causing a lot of young girls to face issues like PCOS, infertility. You won't believe 16 to 22-year-olds are facing issues with infertility, endometriosis, insulin sensitivity, early diabetes, abnormal weight
What?
gain.
Uh,
I recently had one of my clients who gained 45 kgs in 2 years' time. So, and only because she used to eat every day, she used to eat out because her parents are working, so she can't have home cooked meals. This is what is
so
going on at the
sad to
moment.
see this.
And
Yeah.
because of the milk here, which is also hormone induced, because the cows are getting hormone injections, so we get the hormones out of the cow's milk, and that is causing a lot of abnormal growth in women, and especially young girls. So instead
Okay.
of getting their periods after the age of 14 or 15, during that age group, now young girls are getting at the age of 7 and 8 years. So you imagine a 7 or 8 year old child is getting her periods from that age. Now she has to go all her life through that. And then
Wow.
there is early menopause as well. And of course, women especially who are working here, because there are no two ways about it. You have to work if you are in Dubai. And they are not getting time to work out. They're not getting, and then there are so many women of childbearing age group who are facing
Um,
issues with infertility, and then they have to get through IVF and stuff. So there is
oh,
this is the harsh
big
reality which is
problem.
going on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh, Manali, since you are here, so I was always very curious about this. Let me ask you this. People here I see drink a lot of coffee. There are so many coffee shops, such fancy ones. I'm sure abroad also the people do that. I see people jogging with a coffee in hand, walking with a coffee cup in hand, strolling with on a pram with on my, or the garden with a coffee in hand. Do you think this coffee culture is good for your body? What do you think is the intake of coffee? Black coffee is good versus with milk. And can you guide us a bit about this
Sure.
coffee culture?
So coffee culture is not bad, but it's the consumption. It's a
Yeah.
consumption. It's a time. It's the way you drink it, how much you drink it, in what form are you drinking it. So number one, coffee, any kind of caffeine intake should be kept at least till 10 o'clock, not after that, because then it interacts with other nutrients, which was whatever
Correct.
food you eat, and it's causing a lot of issues with that. It causes a lot of dehydration. So
Okay.
especially in summers here in Dubai, where we already are dehydrated because of the heat, you are drinking so much coffee, which is also dehydrating your body from the inside.
Body.
So the point is that if you are somebody who loves coffee, and I love coffee, you have to hydrate yourself that much. You have to drink 1 to 2 glasses of each time you drink a cup of coffee, because you are also dehydrating yourself. There are a lot of people who also take any kind of e-cigarettes or vape
Yeah.
along with coffee, which also dehydrates you because you're smoking
Okay.
out so much. So you need to drink a lot of water. But yes, any kind of coffee, till the time it is without sweeteners, without creams, without ice creams, and without these syrups, normal
Correct.
coffee with or
Healthy.
without milk is fine and good to go. Maybe like 2 to 3 cups of coffee is what you should target in a day, but not beyond that.
Mhm.
So yeah. So I read somewhere, and I also see this at many of these office places where they put the milk powder, sometimes
Mm,
even milk maid. So you can
mm,
imagine the amount of sugar that is going in. The milk
mm,
powder also has a lot of sugar. The milk maid also has a lot of sugar. And of
mm,
course, people have the tendency to also put sugar from the from the table. That they also put outside packets of
mm,
sugar or sweeteners. So
mm,
that culture should go. Fresh milk and fresh tea that we used to have
mm.
the masala chai back in.
That's
That's
fine.
fine, but powdered form, dehydrated powders of milk
Mm,
is something which is not good, and because
mm,
it's too processed. So much
mm,
of processed food is going on in you're ingesting day to day.
mm. True. Absolutely. It was wonderful to ask my doubts to a dietitian. She's on my channel, and how can I not ask my doubts also? All right. Manoli, tell me about if a hypothetical situation, if you are going back to school now and think back, what would be that one thing you'd like to change in your school life? What would you have done
I think
differently?
I think I would have retained my friends rather than,
Um,
because I have zero connection with anyone. And I don't know,
um,
it's just course of time and course of maybe like everybody parted ways and everybody went to some other part of the country. So I don't know. I'm not in touch with any, but with
mm,
only few, maybe like a couple of them, but not on a day-to-day basis. So one thing that I would go back and do is retain my friendships. And for myself, I was a very big this competitive person. I still am, but
yes.
that time I was very, very competitive. Like even half a mark here or there, I used to like feel like the world
Uh,
is crashing down on me. And I I,
yeah.
I think that would have been one thing that I would like to tell myself, that you don't
Uh,
have to worry so much about marks, because life is way beyond that. It's not that the number that you're getting in school or college, but it's the practical knowledge that you gain, the experience that you gain is what is going to make you, row your boat throughout your life. It's not the marks.
Wow.
So I think that
Love.
these are the two things which I feel
Yeah.
I would retain. I would like to change friendships and little less competitive. Healthy competition is good, but I was
Good.
very toxic.
I can
So
understand. If Manoli, you have to write a book on yourself now, what would be the title of the book?
uh, that's a tough one. I have so many things that I would like to convey in that book. The name of the book would be The Young Girl Who Never Gave Up, because
Give
that's
up.
what it is. I don't give up, no
Yeah,
matter what it is. I
that's
have
how you
seen
are.
some major challenges in my life lately, and I feel like I never gave up. So yeah.
True. Absolutely. It suits you. All right. Manoli, if you are given an option of taking three people whom you don't know, okay, you have not met from anywhere around the world to a dinner table, who would those three people be along with you?
Um, I think one would be Sudha Murthy, because I feel like I like speaking to her a lot. Uh, Sorry, I would love to speak to her. But listening to her the way her
Yes.
simplicity is. P Sadhguru, because I like listening to him, and the way he talks about the logical part of spirituality, and not just asking people to follow something blindly. Lastly would be Shah Rukh Khan, not because I'm his
Oh,
big fan. I'm not his big fan, but I mean, I don't enjoy much of his movies, but the person he is,
as a
as a
person,
person,
so smart.
the person he is, the amount of
Not.
um, modesty he has, the amount of
Yeah.
the way he treats other people.
Mm.
I've always heard these stories about him treating very well others, not because he's a big star and he's not left his the natural instinct of treating
Ability.
others right. Yes, and his
Yes.
humility. So I think I would love to these three people to
Wonderful.
have. Yeah. So
Interesting choice. And you made the reasons were very appealing, like why you would take them. Beautiful. Manoli, you have to ask me a question.
yeah,
This is the time. So over
right.
to you, a role reversal,
Uh,
anything you
let
want.
me. Yeah, let me think now because now the tables have turned, so I can ask
Yes.
you. Okay. So I want to know, you were this amazing teacher back in 2008, 9, and 10 when I was in school, and we used to look up to you. And I remember you used to wear these saris and come to school, and we used to all like admire the way you used to dress up, and even now you do. But those are the images that I have of you. And from there till now, what led you, because you were always this teacher, right? I always thought of you as somebody who would teach, somebody who would continue doing that. So what led you or inspired you to now turn completely into something different and have the courage to come online and speak? Because I know for a fact that the teachers back in those times did not have so much of these online sessions, and we never had
Yes.
Zoom or any
Yeah,
of these.
true.
So now from that,
True.
how did your life change to this? And how did
This.
you, I mean, what was the reason behind you to do this?
All right. So not to go into detail, the thing is just like you, I am never satisfied with one thing, and you to keep pushing. Don't get happy about, complacent about what you are good at. So I was already teaching for 25 years. What's new now? In a new country, I came here. I felt that I need to start working. That phase was very depressing for me when I didn't get work initially because of the pandemic. Then I realized that that pandemic phase changed the way I took up look at teaching, and I thought that I will upskill myself. And as I started looking up, I did a life coaching, then I did neuroscience. All those kept opening doors, and I said, oh,
Right.
there is so much more than teaching. Why were I living like in a well for
Yeah.
so long? The whole motive is to talk to young people to understand what goes on in their mind. One thing which I think at this age I can tell you is that uh, doesn't matter what others think. As you are saying, doesn't matter if I'm not right now making money when other friends are making. That's not my goal right now. My goal is to keep myself happy and do something which I can sustain for a very
Right.
long time. So God has been kind to give us this opportunity to do something, not run after money. Yes, at one point we were all trying to do that, but now is the time to explore. So why not? This is what part which I look forward from my guests, is to give some book suggestions for my listeners. And I know that you have a lot of list of books, so let's see what you have for us.
So I think the best 2 to 3 ones that I recently felt like helped me a lot, or is probably helping me at the moment as well. Number one would be the book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, because I feel like that one book, if I wouldn't have read it, I didn't know how to react to these society pressures. The other one was The Atomic Habits, because I think I just wanted to read it just to get into that habit zone. And lastly, the book that I have not yet finished, but I've just started, is the Bhagavad Gita. So that one I felt like is also touching the spirituality of me. I'm taking classes, so I go every weekend to read Bhagavad Gita and understand the purpose behind those shlokas or mantras which is given in the book.
Superb. So I hope you had fun like I had interviewing you.
Thank you
Great.
so much.
Um, do subscribe to my channel. Say Something with Mads. You have been showing love. Continue watching, continue subscribing, continue sharing these interviews. They mean a lot for the youth who are on the channel and people who are listening. They will touch you somewhere it will make a difference in your life. And as I say every week before I end, take care of your planet Earth. You have only one, and do a little bit every day from your end to make it a better place to live. Thank you. See you again next week. Bye bye, Manoli.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.